you know exactly who I am. I am a Cuban model slash actress. I'm also a ring girl for boxing. I have been in the entertainment industry for about 12 years, for a long time. And I'm actually a first time streamer. Not today, today's not my first time, but Meet Me app is my first streaming experience, and I am loving it. And basically, I am Cuban. I go by that Cuban girl in all my social medias. And basically, what I want to do on this app and on this show is I want to bring my experience in the entertainment industry to you, to everybody who's watching, so you can own who you are and own your uniqueness and truly, truly expand on those things that makes you unique. Because even though I have been in the industry for a long time, I also, at one point, didn't think that I had anything unique to share. I know, right? Shocker, but it's true. So, who I am today has been built on my unique experiences. So, that is what my show Own It it's all about. And I am so excited that you're here today. Couple of reminders before we do begin with the show. Thank you guys for all the love. This is going to be a feature show very soon, so please no cussing, no talks about politics or religion or anything of the sort. We're simply here to share our experiences between myself, the guests, and you as a viewer. And my main intention with this show every single week is that I can bring some value to you and I can help you and teach you how to become a better host, how to brand yourself better, and how to really, really own your uniqueness as a host, as a streamer, as an influencer, whatever you're doing in your own lives. So today I am having three amazing guests. These guests are all so different, but they have amazing stories, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. But just so you guys know, my first guest is an actress and singer, and she has very unique experiences to share with you all as well. And the other person is also owning, I don't want to give away who he is or what he does, but he's owning his own brand and streaming experience through the uniqueness of his personality and something he went through. So, yes, and I also want to remind you guys to stick till the end of the show because I'm going to have two things going on today. The first thing is I'm going to be giving you another celebrity spotlight, another celebrity who is doing the branding, the hosting, the right way, in my opinion. And I'm going to tell you why this person is doing that and what we can learn from this person. And if we have some time, if we have 5 minutes at the end, I'm going to be opening up the floor to you guys for Q&As. So please stick to the end of the show. And I'm going to ask all the guests right now to request the box. Please request the box. Thank you so much for the love, you guys. Thank you so, so much for the gifts and all the appreciation and for being here today. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do it in order as I received it. Okay. So my first guess is going to be Courage. I hope that I said that correctly.
Yeah. I just go by Cure too. It's easy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Wait, what did you say? What did you go by?
Oh, I go by Cure. It's easier.
Cure.
Yeah.
I love that. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Lacking a little bit of sleep, but still, grinding.
Okay, well, you don't look like it, so I love that.
Good. I'm glad I can hide it with all my makeup.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me how long you've been on the Meet Me streaming and what's your unique experience with that?
So I started streaming last July, but I only streamed for about 3 months consistently, and then I took like a 9 month hiatus. I was just kind of off the app, and then came back on the app, but just was like a gifter for a while, and then these last couple months, I decided to get back into streaming again, and I've been having a blast. I actually just got my show featured last night. So it's called Grow Through It. For anyone who doesn't know, I know Emoji J comes. It's where we kind of talk about different adversities we face in our lives and how we grew through and from them.
Okay, well, first of all, congratulations on getting the feature.
Thank you.
I love that. I'm gonna have to come check it out.
Yeah, I don't know what time zone you're on.
I'm on Pacific time.
Okay, so every Monday night at 9 p.m.
Perfect. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So your show is called Growth Through It. Do you want to explain a little bit why?
Yeah. So like I said before when we spoke on Instagram, I grew up training martial arts. I also did a lot of the other sports as well. Um, but since I could walk, I was introduced to my family, my dad, my uncle, my godfather, everyone, you know, they all trained from Europe to Canada to America. And so as I became a teenager, the UFC got really big. And I noticed that like this is something I want to do, as a career for the rest of my life or as long as I can. So I was doing that for a little while up until my early 20s, early mid 20s, and then I had a morning where I just woke up. I was preparing for a fight, and I woke up one morning I couldn't walk, and I found out after different doctor visits I had a herniated disc. My left hip was out of place. Actually, my whole leg was out of place, which caused a lot of nerve damage in my sciatic nerve. So that was basically the end of my career. And so I use that as kind of a how I grew through it, because I tell people, life can happen for us or to us. It's how we want to look at it. So after rehab of being able to walk better and things like that, I would still find myself at the gyms because I just couldn't take myself away. And so I'd be hanging out with the different coaches and things like that. And all of a sudden, I'm noticing people coming up to me for different advice and things like that they wouldn't before because I was always busy training. And now that I'm just kind of hanging out and with these crutches or whatever, they're like feel more comfortable coming up to me. So instead of being bitter about it, I just thought like, well, this might be better, and I just started giving them advice like, hey, this is what I used to do, this is what I did, this is what you could do, and next thing I know, I'm just over here becoming a coach, and I see these people flourishing, like they're doing incredible, and I'm like, wow, this touches me more than even being in that cage or the ring. Like I love it. So I took that and ran with it, obviously, and like got my nutritional science degree, and so I can help them with their eating and physical therapy over here somewhere, and NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming that I do. So it's kind of the mental emotional aspect of it, and just I love working with athletes. So
Wow, that's an amazing story. I've met a few athletes that have similar stories where, they spend their entire lives training for this dream and this one goal, and then they get a bad injury and their dreams are gone, and now they're realizing that they actually had a bigger purpose, that if they were playing or like doing MMA and things like that. And I think it sounds like that's a little bit what happened to you, where like maybe you're not maybe I feel like your purpose was probably to help people and to use that experience.
yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And so with that, when you went through that, what was your biggest hurdle, like getting over what you thought you wanted and all of a sudden being in a place where you're uncertain of what to do?
um, there wasn't. You know what? Actually, okay. So it wasn't even an uncertainty. I would say my biggest hurdle for sure was definitely my disability. I have Tourette syndrome and anxiety disorder, as I mentioned before. And that was definitely a big hurdle because what happened was after my injury, I was so busy and preoccupied with different appointments and, getting myself to walk better and things like that, that I didn't have time to actually feel what it felt like, like this, this stinks, this is awful. So I didn't really get a chance to like really feel that out, and then a few years down the line, all of a sudden it's like it just hit me all at once, and I couldn't leave my house for a while, because it was so severe. I couldn't do a lot of things. I lost a lot of friends that, well, friends, right? They don't stick around. How good of friends are they? But yeah, so that was definitely a big hurdle, but I grew through it. And
I would like for you to explain, if you feel comfortable, to explain to people, because you did say to me earlier that you have Tourette syndrome, but it's not what people think of as Tourette.
right, yeah. So a lot of people see it on the movies, and people yell out swear words, which it's a very rare form, but it does happen. I have seen it. I feel like, to be honest, nothing against anyone from England. I love people from England, but I notice a lot of people from England who have Tourette's seem to do more of the swearing. I want to do some studies on that. But no, for me, it's a lot of, they're called motor tics. So basically, body tightens up in certain places, my neck, my back, sometimes like parts of my chest. I kind of just tighten up. I do make a little bit of noises like like that, or clearing my throat. Sometimes people think I'm like sick. So you can imagine what happened when I would be going to the grocery store or something like that when the pandemic started. I sounded like I might have had COVID or something, but I was really just me ticking. Which actually is funny because I had a clothing company, and years ago I started it, and years ago I was on a podcast for it, the Tourette's campaign I did with my clothing. I created a shirt that just said, "I'm not sick, I just tick," because it was just easier to explain that way, right? That way I don't like, and I would wear it. Sometimes just going to the grocery store, I put on that shirt specifically, so that way people would be like, "Oh, okay, he just has Tourette's."
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Do you feel like having Tourette's and plus your experience in, as an athlete and all of that, do you think that that has helped you as a streamer?
Um, yeah, yeah, it does. You just kind of get comfortable with yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, that's the whole point of my show is growing through it, right? Is some people could have the same situation as me, but not learn to get comfortable with themselves, not take the right steps or for them to get comfortable. I think that's huge. And we talk about it in my show and in my stream in general, how how important it is to just be able to be alone with yourself sometimes. No phone, no anything, just you and your mind and everything, just so that you can start to really feel good about who you are. And other jobs I've done in the past, sales, marketing, things like that, I've had to actually speak in person to 50 plus people and tell them a little bit about my story, but also selling them whatever product, health and fitness products that I work for companies. So streaming was always kind of easy for me, I guess, in that aspect. And I think you can definitely relate because you do a lot of public things like that. So you kind of get it. It's kind of just a different type of outlet of being able to speak.
Yeah, 100%. So before we continue, I do want to take a minute and welcome everybody who is tuning in right now. Welcome to Own It. I am that Cuban girl. And this is a show where I help you through my experience in the entertainment industry, how to be a better host, how to brand yourself better. And I also love bringing guests and people together to also share their experiences. So you, as a viewer, can also learn how to have more confidence in your daily life and just how to own who you are and what makes you unique. So welcome everybody. I appreciate you being here. So Cure. So I want to let you explain to everybody, where they can find you. Just plug in your brand, your streaming, like who you are, let everybody know everything.
So, name obviously it's Cure Age, or Cure. I came up with the name because of all the things I do, which kind of relate to people aging, right? Long term, mental, physical, spiritual, whatever. So that's kind of where I came up with the name Cure Age. Not that I'm literally a cure for people's age, but it helped and it just kind of clicked. So, but yeah, I have my streams. I usually stream nighttime Pacific as well. I'm on West Coast, and I have Instagram. I have Snapchat. I have a TikTok in there, I think, in my bio, but I don't really use it. I'll check it every once in a while. But yeah, people can reach me any way they want through there, whether it's for the show, whether it's just for some advice, whatever, or just coming into my stream. Honestly, we do have like some very deep conversations sometimes. So that's definitely fun. Because I love it. I thrive off of really, really deep intellectual conversations.
I love that. I'm definitely gonna come check your show out for sure. Somebody
Yeah.
said I thought it was a pun for courage. I thought it was a pun for courage too.
So it kind of is. It kind of is because cure age, right? But when you say it like quickly, it sounds like courage. So that's something maybe I'll work on as I become a bigger streamer. You know, bigger streamers start to make their own merch, and I already have a clothing brand, but it's separate from the app. So I thought maybe I'd make like a cure age, and then underneath like a shadow of the word courage. You know, why not, right?
I love that. Well, I so appreciate you being here today. Thank you so
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me.
Yeah, no, of course. I love having you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. It's very inspirational. And everybody, please show some love to my guests as well. Make sure that you go and favorite them and check out their shows or their streams. These are amazing people that we bring in on the show every single week. Thank you, Kier. I so appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. All right. So, thank you and hello, everybody tuning in. Thank you for the support, the hearts, the gifts, everything. I appreciate you all. This is welcome to Own It. It is Cicely, aka that Cuban girl, and on this show, I bring in my experience in the entertainment industry as a former Miss Cuba, as a model, as a ring girl, a TV host as well. I bring my experience to help you brand yourself better, to help you become a better host, and on and all. To sum it up, to just show you different people. My guests are all different from different backgrounds. I am going to be giving you the tip of the day. And I am also going to be doing a celebrity spotlight. I'm going to be letting you know one celebrity who is right now doing something related to what we're doing here. And that person is doing it very, very, very well. Um, so please, my guests, request the box. Let me see. I have you guys right here. I'm going to do it in order. Well, actually, sorry, because she's a girl. I'm gonna have a guy, then a girl, and then you. Okay. So Kim, I'm going to bring you on the box.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Of course.
Um, yeah, so I love that you're on the show as well because you and I have something very, very similar. You're a singer, you're an actress. Not that I'm a singer, I'm not. But um, so I love that. Please introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Kim, and uh, I have a show on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time called Pop Culture Hour. It's coming back this Monday, and it was on a little bit of a hiatus. I'm also a singer, and I've done some acting in the past, and I'm a communication media arts major in college. And yeah.
I love that. So, Kim, you told me before that you have a really cool experience. I need to talk about it. I need to talk about it because I'm a huge fan of the show. You were on American Idol's season 8 with Adam Lambert.
Yes, I was so I've so yeah, I went out to LA to audition, and so basically when I was out there it was really crazy. There was it wasn't I only made it to like the preliminary auditions. I didn't make it to the actual show, but um it was a crazy experience. Literally slept on the ground with cockroaches, and you have to do what you got to do to try and make it into the show. And so people wake up early, people get in line super early, don't sleep at night sometimes. Like, they go all out, and it was just one of the craziest experiences. I didn't make it through the those auditions, unfortunately, but but there were camera people at the auditions, and just randomly during that season, I just happened to pop up in one of the segments for Ryan Seacrest, and and then maybe back in like 2017, I think it was. I since Ryan was on is on live with Kelly and Ryan, the talk show. Um, I went out to that and I saw him, and we were talking, and he was just like, and I was just like, yeah, I was on that segment back on American Idol, and he was just, and he just, and he remembered me from this segment, and it was just like crazy.
That's amazing. I love that. So, Kim, tell me a little bit, why are you on Meet Me? Thank you so much, you guys, for all the love and support. Make sure that you support my guests as well. Kim, so why Meet Me? Why streaming?
Yeah, so basically, I was on Meet Me like way back in like 2013 when it was just a dating app. I had gotten off it. Then I was at a I was at Playlist Live in 2020, and I met a certain someone that we all know, Chris Casper. He was on a panel, and I said I want to be his friend, and so I linked up with him on Instagram, and he basically persuaded me to come back on Meet Me. He's like, "Oh, it's gotten better. It's changed. There's live streaming," and I'm just like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." And so here I am.
I love that. So why what's like the one thing, first of all, what's your streaming experience all about? Because on this show, we're gonna every week we're gonna dive deeper into branding and hosting. So what would you say is one thing that makes your streaming different or unique than other people's?
So I like to welcome everybody in my stream, and I try and make my stream like very like open ended to like everybody, and make it like a safe space for people to come to and not feel like they aren't welcome. So I welcome everybody in my stream, and like, I do some singing streams, I do some like I do my show Pop Culture Hour, and I'm working on expanding to a lot of other things as well. So yeah.
Okay, so what's your show pop culture quickly? Like what is it about?
So it's basically where people choose a topic from pop culture, and I do like, and I interview them on the topic, like why they chose it and things like that, and then I will do some like some trivia type segment where I ask them questions and kind of see if this topic they chose, if they know all their information on the topic they chose, and kind of like stump them in a way. So I try and catch them in the act to see if like maybe they don't know a lot, and I've actually stumped like all my guests so far. So and then there's a new thing that I'm bringing to the show when it restarts this Monday, which is gonna be like I have a I have a wheel, and I'm gonna spin it, and it's gonna have music genres on it, and they have to name um, about however many artists they can within a certain amount of time frame, and the person with the highest amount of artists named will win the game. So
And you know what I love about that, and that's why I wanted you to elaborate a little bit on what your show is about. Because one very important part in branding yourself when it comes to streaming or having a show is first you have to ask yourself, who am I? What do I like? What am I into? Right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get too into it today because I do have a different tip, but I am gonna write it down for next week because there's something with that that's very, very important when it comes to branding. You know, asking yourself who you are. So make sure you guys tune in next week because I am going to be going deeper when it comes to that branding, when it comes to who you are, and how to find out what your brand really is. So make sure you tune in next Tuesday, okay, guys? Kim, I love that. I love that you were able to bring your love for music and for pop culture into your streaming and your show. Tell me if there's one thing that you would like to say to everybody out there, you know, with your personal experience, what you've gone through. What would that be?
Just keep going and keep doing what you just be comfortable with yourself and don't listen to what anybody else has to say because you know yourself best and if and like let's say like you're not feeling great and people want you to stream, don't stream unless you are feeling great to stream and just do everything at your own pace and your own time because everyone
Find you.
yeah, so you can find me here on Meet Me if you favorite me, and then you can also find me on Instagram. It's in my bio, so and yeah,
You guys can also go to my Instagram, and I have tagged my guests today on my stories and on my posts. So that's another thing. If you guys end up being a guest on my show, I am always going to plug you outside of Meet Me. So make sure that you stay in touch with me or with Emoji J. Emoji J, write something on the comments so everybody knows who to contact to be a guest on the show. Thank you so much, Kim, for sharing your
thank you,
story. Thank you for being here. I
thank you.
appreciate you, and good luck with everything, okay?
Of course, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, you guys. Well, thank you so much, all of you guys tuning in. This is Own It. This is Cicely, aka that Cuban girl, and this is a weekly show. This is a show where I bring in my guests to share their stories, their what makes them unique when it comes to streaming and being, you know, streaming online. And you know, I also combine my experience in the entertainment industry, and I help you become better hosts. I help you brand yourself better. We give tips, which I am about to give you the tip of the day right now. So thank you, welcome, thank you for the love, for the support, for everything, and I hope to see you here next week. So with that said, stick to the end of the show because I will be talking about the celebrity spotlight of the week. I'm going to tell you who is doing an amazing job at branding herself and basically taking her whole experience and bringing it into her brand. And she has done an amazing job at it, and why. Okay. So now I want to give you the tip of the day. The tip of the day today has to do with hosting specifically. Okay. I know we've talked a lot about branding, but we're going to talk about branding specifically next week. Today's tip of the day is about hosting. And if you're a streamer, or even if you're not a streamer in your personal life, you could definitely use this skill. And the skill is, drum roll, I wish I had one, listening. Listening is so, so, so important, you guys. And this is something that I actually I was not aware of a few years ago. It's something that I have had to develop in my career, in hosting. You need to be a great listener, and I'm going to share with you a couple of points, of key points as to why it's good to be a good listener when it comes to hosting. Okay, so it's important to be a great listener because um, that by listening you receive info. Okay, especially if you're hosting, if you're interviewing somebody, you want to make sure you're listening to that person. It's not just having questions written down. You can do that. You can do a prep work before that, right? For all my streamers out there, you could definitely do that. But every time you're having a conversation with somebody and you're listening to them, you're receiving new information about them. You're receiving information that maybe you didn't know before. I'm actually sure you didn't know that before. So it's important that you listen to them, okay? It also helps you solve problems in your daily life. This is for all my viewers. When you listen, you are also solving problems in your life. And my last point, but one of my favorites, is that you build rapport. Is that how you say it? RAPPOORT, rapport. Um, so why is it important to be able to build rapport with people? Well, it's important to build rapport with people because it develops mutual trust, friendship, and affinity with someone. When you build rapport with somebody, you're letting them know, hey, you can trust me and I can trust you because I'm listening to you, I'm building rapport with you. So I think that is so important. One another tip is when you're talking to somebody, even in your daily life, right, do not interrupt them. Make sure that you let them speak and that you're listening. So that was the tip of the day. Stick around for the quote of the day and the celebrity spotlight after my last guest of today. Welcome to all of you who are just tuning in. This is Own It. I am Cicely, aka that Cuban girl, and you can find me as such in all my social media platforms. This show, I help you be a better host, I help you brand yourself better, and I bring in different guests to share their experiences with all of you guys. So you know that you don't necessarily need to be this famous influencer or whatever to be able to be a streamer and be better in your daily life and your daily branding, okay? So without further ado, Charlie, I am going to add you to the box right now. Sorry I left you for last.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just glad to be here.
Hi, thank you so much. I kind of wanted to have the girl in the middle so it was balanced, you know?
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said, I'm glad that you I'm on your show. That's what I'm glad about.
Aw, thank you so much. I love that. I love that. So, Charlie, I know a little bit about you, but I want you to tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do, all of that.
Hi everybody. I'm Charm Charlie on here, but you can just call me Charlie. And I'm from Georgia, and I am an MDA ambassador. If you don't know what MDA is, the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And I'm also an advocate for the disability community here on the app. And also, I have a featured show every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time called You've Got a Friend with Charm Charlie. And some of my show focuses on the disability community, and then the rest of my show is pretty much about overcoming adversity and life challenges, because having a disability is you have so many challenges. And also we wanted to say overcoming adversity and life challenges, so anyone can be a guest if you have a life challenge, that we all go through something and we are all there for each other, and we can all talk to each other if we need each other. So that is a little bit about me.
I love that. Well, very well said. So, tell me a little bit what the disability is about because I don't really, and pardon my ignorance, but I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's why I'm here, is to educate people about it. So it's something I really enjoy talking about. Um, but my disability is Duchenne muscular dystrophy. If you don't know what Duchenne muscular dystrophy is, basically, without all the medical terms, this is my definition of it. So everybody's body produces this protein called dystrophin, and dystrophin is what builds your muscles. And someone with my disability, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, our body doesn't produce that protein. So therefore, over time, basically, our muscles become, I guess, they become weaker, basically turning into fat. Is basically how I like to describe it.
Okay, so would you like to share how you found out that you had this disability?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed when I was 18 months. Um, and my mom noticed that I was scooting myself across the floor, and she was like, and I was like like almost 2 years old, and so she was like, I this is cute and everything, but there's must be something wrong. Like I wasn't meeting all the things that people met at that age. And my mom just took me to the doctor, and that is when they diagnosed me with Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
So with that, did you find that, and it doesn't have to be the case, but did you find that that made you better in whatever dreams? Like, what was your dream, and did you find that that had a correlation with your dream?
Yes, I did because my dream is I love to educate people about my disability, and I love to show people that we have you can have a disability and you can achieve anything like anyone else. And I feel like that having that disability has made me, I feel like, a stronger person. You know, my disability, some people, they have a disability, it brings them down. But I just tell people that it's a part of you. Just don't try to hide it. You know, it does help people get through their lives because they're like, hey, if he can get through it, I can do it. Exactly. Own it. Yes, that I like that. Own it. Yeah, you gotta own it. I love it.
Yeah, I love that too. Thank you, Courage. You know, I love that too. I actually was thinking, and he literally read my mind. I was like, own it, and that's what this show is all about. We show people that they need to own who they are and their uniqueness. You know, I've gone through my own struggles as well. One day I'll talk about them, but I love that you're owning your disability. You're using it to teach people, to educate, to tell people, hey, it doesn't matter what you go through. So I love that you share that. So Charlie, why streaming and how did that start for you?
So I found streaming. So after I graduated high school, I tried college. College wasn't for me, and then I was at home, you know, and then I was like, how am I gonna make friends? And then I was going through my phone one day and I found Meet Me, and then I didn't like it at first. I was like, I don't think this is for me. But then COVID happened and everything, and then I realized that I was stuck at home because if I were to get it, it could have been really severe for me. And so kept myself inside. Like I was literally inside for a really long time. But like, I would definitely go outside, but like I wouldn't go out in the public. And so I was like, I'm gonna download this again. And I streamed. I just kept streaming, and I met people. I made connections with people, and they helped me get to where I am today. And then I realized as I was streaming that I can use streaming as a way to educate people about my disability and to show people that you own having that disability, own it. And you know, it's something really important that I feel like that the world needs to know more about. And yes, it is a great use. And I was like, so I'm gonna come up with a show, and then that is how that all became, and that's why I started streaming.
I almost wish I would have found Me during, the quarantine too, because I wish I would have found it. No, I love that you said that you have to own it. And I want to just say something real quick. Being in the industry for a long time, it's not, I mean, it's the industry, entertainment industry is becoming way more open now than it used to be before, way more diverse. But that's one thing that me personally I have found different when it comes to streaming and being in the entertainment industry is there are still a lot of stereotypes out there. And I think that streaming, especially here, because this is the only app I've streamed on, I feel like everybody is so like supportive, and everybody just, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is, what disability you have, like they don't discriminate, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that so much. So Charlie, what is, like, if you could tell somebody that's not a streamer, right? Somebody who is just watching right now, and they're going through, maybe through something, through disability as well. What can you tell them to kind of help them get through whatever they're going through?
I would say if you want to try streaming, you definitely should try it. It's something amazing. For me, it really is life changing. That's what I like to say is Meet Me streaming. It is life changing. And if you want to try it, try it. There are going to be those trolls. There are going to be people that try to bring you down. But in reality, those people are bringing you down because they're jealous of what you're accomplishing. And you can connect with people from different communities that you didn't even know that you connected on the same level with them. Like so many people I've connected with. they're like, hey, I have a disability too. And then we all connect with each other and we realize that we all have the same goal, that we want to show people that we all have a disability here. But look, we are taking this platform and flipping it around to make it to inspire people, not just streaming. It doesn't even matter about diamonds. It doesn't matter about. It just matters if you're having fun, and and all the followers that you have. It's amazing seeing everyone come back. That is what I would say to someone about streaming.
I love that. Yeah, it's a community, right? Even me, I've said this many times before. There's a big difference. I feel like I'm way more authentic here than in other platforms. Not that I'm not authentic out there, but I feel like there's still a lot of doubts when it comes to like going live on different platforms for me. And here, I come in here, I turn on the live, and and I'm me, and I talk and I do this and I love it. And that's why like I love streaming so much. And you're right, it's not about the diamonds per se. It's about like the community, what you build.
Exactly, it is.
So Charlie, when tell me a bit more about your show, where people can find you.
Yeah, so my show happens every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I said, it's about overcoming adversity and life challenges. And it is amazing. It's one of my favorite things that I have the opportunity to have here on the app. Like you said, it is, I guess, there's so many different people, so many different backgrounds, and the app has given everyone a chance to be their best and give them the resources and everything that we need to be successful on the app. And also, I stream every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time every day. And sometimes I'm singing, sometimes we're dancing, sometimes we have a box party. My stream is just all about positivity. You never know how it's going to go. Nothing is planned because, I feel like that you have more fun when you don't plan everything. Like you have an idea of what you want to do, but when it comes to life, it is so much fun. So that is when you guys can catch me around.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Charlie. You've been a joy to talk to. I appreciate you being on my show. I appreciate you supporting. I appreciate you having your own streaming and sharing your story because I would have never met you otherwise. Maybe, but Um, so I'm just really excited to meet you and my other two guests. You guys are amazing. Please, everybody, go show Charlie a lot of love. Go favor my guests and go check out their shows, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm glad I connected with you too. Like I said, streaming is something, see, connected with people that you never knew that you could connect with. But
Yeah,
thank you again. Bye, guys.
thank you. Bye, Charlie. Okay, you guys. Well, if you're just tuning in, we are arriving towards the end of the show, but welcome regardless. Thank you for the hearts, for the gifts, for the support, or just for viewing the show. This is Own It with me, aka that Cuban girl, and that's how you can find me on all my other social media platforms. This is a show where we own it. We own who we are, we own our uniqueness, and I help you through my experience in the entertainment industry how to become a better host, how to become a better you, how to brand yourself better. I give you tip of the day, I give you quote of the day, and I bring in guests to my show, other streamers that you can connect to, you can learn from, because I believe that even if you're not a streamer and you're just a viewer, it's not just a viewer. Being a viewer is amazing, right? But if you're not a streamer, if you're not a person who likes to go live or anything like that, you can still learn. You can learn confidence, but most importantly, you can learn to own who you are and the uniqueness of your story. And that is ultimately the goal of my show, just for you and I to own it, right? So at the beginning of the show, I promised you guys that towards the end, I was going to share with you a tip of the day, which I already did. I'm going to share with you now the quote of the day that has to do with the tip of the day. And then I'm going to share with you a celebrity spotlight, somebody who I believe is doing an amazing job at branding herself, how she used who she was and her background to now literally have a multi-million dollar brand, and she is her own brand, right? So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. And if we have more time, if Emoji J can help me with the time in the comments, if we have more time, I'm going to open up the floor to some Q&As if you guys have some. So, okay, quote of the day that has to do with the tip of the day is: the biggest communication problem is that we do not listen to understand, we listen to reply. And I love that quote because obviously it has to do with listening, which was my tip of the day earlier, right? I believe that listening is one of the most important skills when it comes to communicating, especially if you're a streamer, or if maybe you're not a streamer, but you do have a job in your day to day life where you need to communicate with other people. One of the worst traits, in my opinion, is when people talk over each other, when people reply, like the quote said. We need to be able to listen to others so that way we can gather information and we're able to have a more effective communication with that person. This is something that I didn't I wasn't born knowing, through my experiences on TV, through my experiences in everything that I've been doing. I have had to learn how to listen, especially in an era like today where there's so many things going on. We walk around with a computer on our hands, So it is very important. And I really want you to walk out of the show today really thinking about learning how to listen better. Sometimes silence is the best way to help somebody feel understood. With that said, I am going to share with you now the celebrity spotlight of the day, because we are arriving to that end of the show pretty soon. So the celebrity that, in my opinion, is doing an amazing job at branding herself is, drum roll, I wish I had one. It's Olivia Culpo. And the reason, if you don't know who she is a former Miss Universe. I don't know who that is. Okay, she's a former Miss Universe. She is a model now, but the reason why she did an amazing job branding herself was because of this, okay? She comes from a family of entrepreneurs. Her dad is a restaurant owner, correct? So she had knowledge of that, like business knowledge previously before being Miss Universe. Now, what happened when she became Miss Universe? She got into pageants, she became Miss Universe, and she did one of the smartest things that I believe anybody could do when it comes to branding, which is she took that platform and she said, okay, with this platform, now I'm going to use my knowledge in restaurants, my love for food, right? Because she loves food. And she actually started showing on social media her cooking process. She would grab her sisters and they would cook together. And she would show that. She would show herself cooking. She would show herself enjoying time with her sisters, eating out. She would show like different restaurants and foods that she really enjoyed. And what did this do? So for me, I've been following her for a long time. I followed her because of the pageants, but I truly connected with her after that because she showed me that, number one, she's relatable, right? Because most of us cook and all of us love to eat. So she is relatable. She's a person just like you and I, right? She cooks. She's a family oriented person. She enjoys time with her sisters and her loved ones. So what she did was she brought her image of this perfection as Miss Universe, right? She brought it to in a way where we all could relate with her. So it brought her off the pedestal a little bit because, being a former Miss Cuba, we're taught to be perfect most of the time. Like we had to be perfect, especially back then when I did it in 2013. Back then, you really, really, really needed to be perfect. And that is one of my main struggles with Instagram or with other platforms is I'm still trying to get over the fact that when I show myself, I have to be perfect. And that's one of the things that I love about streaming also. I come here and I can be completely myself, right? So that's one thing that she did very, very well. She started showing her uniqueness. And one of the things that made her unique was her love for for food and was the fact that she was cooking. Now, the other thing related to that that she did to make her brand, her personal brand better, was that I don't know if she had this idea previously, but I can only assume she did based on the fact that her family already owned restaurants. She started showing people something she loved, but she wasn't telling people, I love food. I'm opening a restaurant. So make sure you follow me. Make sure you like she wasn't selling you on a restaurant. She was simply sharing her cooking journey as a former Miss Universe. So I love that she did that. So fast forward to now, right? What she did was she actually opened her first restaurant, I want to say about a year or so ago. So why did that do, you guys? Well, that gave everybody the understanding that okay, well, we now know, we've known for a long time you love cooking, so this is not like a lie. You're not just selling me on something. You're not just telling me, oh, come to my restaurant because I just opened a restaurant. No, she actually went through the process of using her platform as a Miss Universe, after that showing everybody what her love for food was, and years later opened up her first restaurant. So I know this is a little bit more of an advanced way of thinking about branding yourself. These are things that as you continue on in your journey, whether you're a streamer, whether you are a business owner or something like that, you can start thinking about yourself as your brand and how to genuinely connect with people and genuinely show people and showcase who you are without necessarily selling them on something, but being your genuine you, like owning who you are, right? um so I now, with that said, I would like to open the floor to some Q and A's. If you guys have any Q and A's, we do have a few minutes left. So do you guys have any? We have 8 minutes left. Copy emoji. Do you guys have any questions for me? I'm gonna wait a few for to see if we have any questions, but if we don't, that is totally okay because I can also add on some things. Let me let you guys know that you can find me on social media. If you are on the Meet Me app, you can go to my profile, just click on the Instagram link and follow me on there, follow me on YouTube. I'm going to continue to post more YouTube content coming up, especially now more than before. And if you guys don't know it, hello everybody who's just tuning in. Thank you so much. This is Own It. I am that Cuban girl, and this is a show where I have guests. I invite guests to share their stories and to share what makes them different, what makes their brand unique, and to help you all and help myself as I talk to you to own it, to own our uniqueness and to own what the differences and that things that makes us different and bringing them into our normal lives. Or if you are a streamer, how that and owning it can help you be also a better you. Hello, hi Josh. Thank you so much. So a couple of more things, you guys, that I want to let you guys know. In next week's show, I am going to be sharing with you guys, like I said previously, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a very important tip when it comes to branding yourself. I know today we talked a lot about um, listening, right, as the tip of the day, listening as a host. If you're, especially if you're a streamer or if you're a host in your daily life, why listening is so important. Next week, I'm going to be talking about specifically branding and why I'm going to give you these key points on branding when it comes to using who you are and using, I don't want to give it away too much, but basically using who you are, asking yourself the important questions, and and finding what your brand is and what you are all about. So that is what we're going to be talking about. Thank you so much for the hearts, my love. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions? I don't know if you have any questions. Somebody said, how did you get into doing what you're doing now? Great question. Thank you. So what I how I got into doing what I'm doing now, which is, well, now I'm streaming, but I am a model. I am a ring girl for boxing. And I'm also a TV host. I am part of a TV series that it's coming out next year in 2023 on the PBS network. And how I got into doing what I'm doing now is I started in a TV show in Miami, on a very big TV show on the Univision network. And I had no proud experience. I had no idea. I was very green. I didn't know what I was doing. I had never done pageants at that point. So when I was on that show, it really was eye opening for me, because one of the things that I have really struggled in the past is confidence. And this is why I love doing what I'm doing now and I love doing this show. Um, so when I was on that show, even though I was on that show, and even though Nuestra Bella Latina, yes, and even though I had made it to the show, I had already gone through 6 or 7 auditions to make it to the show. I still didn't believe that I was on the show. I would look at the other girls and I would think of myself as less than the other girls. I didn't really value my worth. Even though I was beautiful and tall and all of this, I just didn't. There was a part of me that just couldn't believe that I was on the show. And so for me, that was my first experience on TV, and that was my first experience where I was truly like, okay, I have a lot of work I have to do with my mindset. And eventually, we're gonna start talking about mindset on the show as well. Um, but basically that's what got me started on TV and the entertainment industry and everything, and eventually pageants. So I did the show. After I did the show, I ended up moving to Los Angeles. I moved to Los Angeles and I said, okay, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to act or model, but I said, okay, I want to be in the entertainment industry. I want to try it out. I want to see actually what I can do. And so I moved to LA and I embarked on this beautiful journey. Shortly after, I got involved in pageants. Shortly after, I want to say that same year, I became Miss Cuba, and I got sent to Bolivia to compete internationally as Miss Cuba. But I also had those roadblocks in my mind, right? Where like I still wasn't confident. I still didn't believe in myself. I still, even though I had the Cuba sash, and it's like, oh my gosh, how many times do I have to fall down? How many times do I have to like lose at in a pageant to realize that I actually deserve to be here, even though I was getting all these amazing opportunities and all these validation. I still didn't couldn't believe that I was there. So I was in Bolivia competing on Miss Cuba. I did not place, but it did help. It was one of the best experiences in my life, and it did help me continue to grow as a person. Then I became a contestant at Miss California USA, and I had a blast in Miss California USA as well. And after that, I just continued. I did a whole bunch of music videos, and I just continued pursuing modeling and acting and all of that. I have a question coming in. What show were you on? The show that I was on is called Nuestra Belleza Latina. It's in Spanish. It's on the Univision network. I'm sure if you go to YouTube, Nuestra Belleza Latina 2013, you can find episodes on there. And it was a life-changing show for me. It was something that really helped me. One of the things, the reason I got eliminated, and I got eliminated in Canada, which was not fun, but I got eliminated because literally the judge looked at me and said, I picked you for my team. I picked you because I thought you were amazing. I picked you because I see all these qualities. And you still don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you're here. You don't believe that you're worthy of being here. And that's something that always stuck with me, because it's true. I had to work on my confidence. And so this was a while back. And now moving forward, I realized that I had to go through all those experiences. I had to really own who I've been and own who I am and own where I'm going in order to be here right now talking to you guys on this amazing app. So with that said, I am so, 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 so grateful that you guys are here. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for to my beautiful guests for being here today and sharing your story. And my intention and my hope for this show is that it can truly help you, whether you are a streamer or not, in your life. You know, I would hope that with my experience, I can help you build confidence and truly own who you are. So, thank you, my love, so much. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to see you next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time so you can own it.